Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be covering, for the first time in a little while, Polkadot. You guys will know that Polkadot is one of my favorite blockchains, and it's one of the blockchains out there that I see some of the most promise with. We're going to be talking about that in this video. And we're really going to be looking at some metrics for Polkadot. You know, what has Polkadot been up to? There's some really exciting things that have been taking place within the Polkadot ecosystem and with Polkadot itself. The last video that we did on DOT, we looked at the kind of new vision that was proposed by Gavin Wood for Polkadot and the direction that it would get taken in if that vision was, of course, voted on. We know that we recently had, only a month or so ago, the launch of OpenGov. Polkadot is now officially a project that is steered and led by you guys. And actually, one of the reasons that I like Polkadot so much is because it very much upholds the values and the goals that Satoshi had in mind when he released this technology to the world, when he wrote his white paper and, of course, released Bitcoin to take the centralized elements out of peer-to-peer e-commerce and to remove financial institutions. And Polkadot has very much taken that vision and extended on it in a simply magnificent way. And there is just so much that we could recap and cover. It's been quite hard for me to figure out exactly what direction I would take this video in. But what I want to do in this one is actually look at some metrics for Polkadot. So how do you sort of determine how well a blockchain is doing? Well, price is perhaps not one way of doing that. Price essentially is driven by buyers and sellers of that token. And perhaps there are elements where price could be a determining factor of how well a blockchain is doing in regards to it being used for fees and it being locked up and staked and interacting with DeFi. But price generally is not a brilliant metric for how a blockchain is doing. Things like active users, development activity, applications, dApps or parachains in Polkadot's case, which it's looking to kind of move a little bit away from, are a better metric. And that's what we're going to be using as a metric in this video. Although I do want to start the video off with a little bit of price analysis. And then we're going to go into a whole range of things from OpenGov, why it's such a big deal, to a wide range of metrics, talking about parachains, talking a little bit about price, talking about GitHub commits, and everything in between. So I thought I'd start this video off, even though we've said price isn't a great metric to determine how well a blockchain is doing. And ultimately, as a trader, it's my belief that a technical analysis will give you a better understanding of what the price will do than the fundamentals. Fundamentals often lag. And I want to start this video off with a clip of Jeff Bezos, and I very much liken the blockchain revolution to the internet, talking about what happened to Amazon stock in the .com crash. And actually, what really mattered about that crash wasn't necessarily the price that determined how well or not so well the company was doing, but the metrics that you use to weigh up a company on users, revenue, these sort of things. And we're going to do the same thing for DOT in this video. So let's go ahead, guys, and hear from Jeff Bezos in association with the .com crash and Amazon and what kind of got it through that.
It's just books.
Your stock at one point, I think, went to $100, but then it went down to $6 or something like that.
At the peak of the internet bubble, our stock peaked somewhere around $113.
Okay.
And then after the internet bubble, busted open, our stock went down to $6. It went from 113 to 6 in less than a year. So my annual shareholder that year starts with a one-word sentence, and that one-word sentence is the word ouch.
So most of those internet companies of the .com era are out of business.
Yeah.
You survived. What was it that made you to survive, and virtually the rest of them are gone?
That whole period is very interesting because the stock is not the company, and the company is not the stock. And so as I watched the stock fall from 113 to 6, I was also watching all of our internal business metrics, number of customers, profit per unit, everything you can imagine, defects, etc. Every single thing about the business was getting better and fast. And so as the stock price was going the wrong way, everything inside the company was going the right way. And we didn't need to go back to the capital markets. We didn't need more money. The only reason, a financial bust like the internet bubble bursting makes it really hard to raise money. But, we already had the money we needed. So we just needed to continue to progress.
There we have it, guys. I think that is a very applicable clip to what's happening with quite a few blockchains out there. And during bear markets, during sort of periods where the price is, I believe, largely dictated from external factors and is moved on things external to the actual project itself, which sounds crazy. It's Polkadot, the DOT token's price. DOT is used within, it's a fundamental part of the consensus. It's a fundamental part of Polkadot. But the price of it is largely moved by external factors. And fundamentals don't often drive, and they'll become more relevant as this space matures, the price, but they will catch up with it eventually. And if you look at Polkadot from a metric point of view, it has done exceptionally well. First of all, from a parachain point of view. So what are parachains? Parachains, although very different, are the equivalent of dApps and applications being built on other layer ones. One reason we love Polkadot is because of just how different it is from the architectural, the archetype of Ethereum and these other layer ones. You remember Gavin Wood actually helped to build Ethereum. He wrote the EVM and ultimately took the experience there and sought to fix the issues that he saw with Ethereum and take it in a different direction. And thus you had Polkadot being created. So from a project point of view, Polkadot has done nothing but continue to grow. And actually many of these projects we looked at Kilt Protocol's partnership with Deloitte, the largest accounting firm in the world. You've got partners with Sony. You've got a recent parachain winner who is partnered with the likes of Bosch, and you name it. There's just so many partnerships out there in regards to, including governmental ones, in regards to parachains and also Polkadot itself. So projects has gone in regards to parachains up to 45. This only a year or so ago was 0. And so these are mega projects. You can't, and not anybody can just build on Polkadot right now. Now, the new vision that's being looked at would allow anybody to build on it, but right now you have to win an auction. And of course, there are only a varying amount of slots, and this is looking to somewhat change and Polkadot morph into more of a supercomputer. But if we look at a recent publication yesterday from Santiment, you can see that actually Polkadot is second to only Cardano. Cardano's consensus Ouroboros is the same consensus that Polkadot used, just with Grandpa on top. And actually, we've always said, whatever people say about Cardano, we think the tech is actually really good. And the kind of peer review method that they've done might be a kind of hare and a tortoise approach. But Polkadot is consistently being worked on. You can see that in the form of GitHubs consistently. Again, this was old data, but it hasn't much changed at all. If we take a look at token distribution, you can see that there is nearly a 50% staking on Polkadot. A lot are sort of locked in parachains, and you do have just over 30% actually circulating. If we look at on-chain data, you can see in regards to the leaderboard, actually Polkadot is rather decentralized, although you do, of course, have your big players like Binance, Kraken, and many other exchanges that, of course, hold a lot of Polkadot. You can see as well that you do have the Polkadot treasury, which has continued to grow. If you look at transfers, this is a very interesting website that we'll leave a link to in the description. You can see that these are consistently happening and on a very large scale. If you look at staking, you can see staking rewards, you can see stakes, and there's always a bit of a fluctuation. Unstakes against stakes. You can see there's a lot more people bonding typically than there are bonding. You've got liquid staking from some of the protocols. If you look at metrics, you've got users. And you can see actually Polkadot Although experienced a slight decline in users recently on a 3-month change basis, it does very well with 72,689 users. You can see there's a number of other chains here that follow it. You can see exchanges, what exchanges typically are leading. XCM, which of course is Dot's interchain messaging service, you can see is being used very frequently. USDT is consistently being transferred around via XCM and transfers generally. You've got your OpenGov, which we've seen a big increase in. And in regards to the treasury rewards, you can see that Polkadot is ready to fund. You've got crowd loans, and then you've got the likes of ICO distribution, which of course was finished 3 years ago. So crowd loans have been out for a while. Polkadot, on pretty much every metric you can weigh it up on, is doing exceedingly well, and it's set to continue to do so. And then, of course, last month, going into this month, we had the huge announcement of, or over a month ago, I should say, on the back end of June, we had a huge announcement that OpenGov is launching on Polkadot. This month, the OpenGov governance system officially launches on Polkadot. Overview of Polkadot's OpenGov. OpenGov is designed with flexibility and adaptability. It responds quickly and effectively to community referendums. Additionally, it aims to be secure and resistant to manipulation, ensuring that decisions made by the community are transparent and fair. The following section will introduce the referendum process of the new governance system. Governance is massively underlooked. Polkadot has done it sensationally. The one thing that I will criticize Polkadot for is the UI, the interface of its wallets, and generally the user experience that it gives. Once they get that fixed, they will be quite an obvious choice for users, in my opinion, because of everything that they offer. And that is something that, you know, I'm paying a lot of attention to, and certainly paying a lot of attention to builders that are trying to fix that problem. So Polkadot gets a massive thumbs up from me. It's been a little while since we've covered it, so we really wanted to dive back into it. But Polkadot is nothing short of an amazing project. If you look at every metric that you can weigh Polkadot up by, it's going like that. However, we know the price has gone like that, given the market conditions. That's why we really wanted to play that clip of Bezos, talking about the likes of Amazon, which was something that was born out of the internet. Polkadot is something that's born out of blockchain and the revolution that it offers. And I believe in the future it's going to be as big, if not bigger, than the likes of Amazon in regards to the reach and the usage of it. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it as a comment. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.